All right, let's talk about what makes any great idea actually work. I mean, you can have a world-changing product, a brilliant service, but without a financial engine, it's just not going to go anywhere, right? So today, we're diving in. We're going to figure out exactly how to build that engine by breaking down the whole idea of revenue streams. And it really all comes down to this one question. I'm serious. This is the thing that separates a cool dream from an actual functioning reality. You've got this amazing idea, right? But how's it going to make money? If you can't answer that, well, it's pretty much just a hobby. So let's get strategic. Let's talk about how to turn that spark of an idea into a real, sustainable business. Okay, so how do you answer that million-dollar question? Well, you start with a plan. Simple as that. In the business world, we call that plan a revenue model. And trust me, it's the foundation for literally everything else you're going to build. Think of it just like a blueprint for a house. It's not just a vague idea of, we'll collect some money. No, no, no. It's the how, the why, and the when. It's your strategic answer for how you're going to create something valuable, get it to your customers, and then, actually capture some of that value in return. It's your playbook, your game plan. So, if the model is our blueprint, then what are the actual tools we're going to use to build this thing? That's what we're talking about next. It's time to open up the revenue stream toolbox and check out the essential parts you need to construct that financial engine. All right, first up, we've got the classic, the original, direct sales. I mean, this is as straightforward as it gets, right? You have a product or a service, someone wants it, they pay you for it one time, and boom, transaction over. It's simple, it's effective, and everyone gets it. Next, we've got a huge favorite these days, the subscription model. So instead of that one-and-done sale, you're actually building an ongoing relationship. Your customers pay a recurring fee, maybe monthly, maybe annually, for continuous access to whatever you're offering. The big shift here, and this is so important, is moving from a single transaction to predictable recurring revenue. And believe me, that is an absolute game changer for so many companies. And then there's this super clever freemium model. The whole strategy here is to just get rid of any reason for someone not to try your product. Make the barrier to entry zero. You offer a basic version completely free, get a ton of users on board, get them hooked, and then you offer awesome premium features or upgrades for the people who really love it and are willing to pay. The whole game is converting just a small fraction of those free users into paying customers. And look, this toolbox is deep. There are a ton of other options. For instance, you could license your idea for royalties, basically renting it out. Or maybe you take a small cut, a commission fee, on transactions you help make happen, kind of like an app store does. The real magic often comes from mixing and matching these to build a super robust financial plan. But it's not just about the model. You also have to think about the nuts and bolts of how people actually pay you. Is it a one-time purchase, a recurring monthly thing, or maybe you charge based on how much they use it? You could even offer different tiers of pricing. How your customer pays is a really, really big part of their overall experience with your brand. Okay, so you've picked out your tools from the toolbox. That's great. But now for the really tricky part, the art and the science of actually using them. This is where we get into pricing strategy. In other words, how in the world do you decide what number to actually charge for your thing? And really, there are two big ways to think about this. On one side, you've got cost-plus pricing. This is all about you. It's, okay, it cost me 10 bucks to make this, so I'll just add a markup and sell it for 15. Simple. But then on the other side, you've got value-based pricing. This isn't about you at all. It's about the customer. The thinking here is, wow, this thing I made saves my customer $1,000 a month. So what is that solution actually worth to them? And let me tell you, asking that second question, that's where the real money is often hiding. Of course, those aren't the only ways. You could just go with competitive pricing. You basically just look at what your rivals are charging and set your price somewhere around there. Or you can get really sophisticated with dynamic pricing. This is where the price actually changes in real time based on demand. Just think about how airline tickets or Uber prices work. That's dynamic pricing in action. So here's the thing to remember. Price is just one piece of the puzzle. Inside your business, you've got these specific things called revenue drivers. These are the key products, the core activities that are actually bringing in the money. Figuring out what those are and focusing all your energy on them is absolutely critical. And one of the absolute best ways to understand your revenue is this monster metric, customer lifetime value, or CLV. Look, this isn't about a single sale. It's about the total amount of money you can expect to get from one customer over their entire relationship with your business. When you have a high CLV, that's a sign that you have a very, very healthy business. So how do you get that number up? Well, two classic tactics are upselling and cross-selling. You know these. Upselling is just persuading a customer to buy a bigger or better version, like when they ask, "Do you want to make that a large at the coffee shop?" And cross-selling is when they ask, "Would you like a pastry with that?" See? Both of these are just smart ways to get more value from the customers who are already there, ready to buy. Okay, you've got your blueprint, you've picked your tools, you've even got a strategy. Now, it's time to step out of the garage and see if this thing actually works in the real world. This next part is all about testing, or validating your model and making sure it's built to grow.
This right here is the moment of truth. Seriously, all those plans, all those spreadsheets, they're just theories. They're just ideas on paper until a real live customer actually pulls out their wallet. So the question you need to ask isn't, is my idea good? The real question is my idea so valuable that someone will actually pay me for it? And you've got to test that, not just once, but early and often.
So how do you know if it's working? You track the right numbers, the right metrics. First is your conversion rate. This basically tells you if people are doing the thing you want them to do, like clicking buy now. Then there's ARPU, or average revenue per user. That tells you, plain and simple, how much each customer is worth on average. And finally, if you're in the subscription game, your absolute lifeblood is MRR, monthly recurring revenue. That's the predictable cash flow you know is coming in, month after month. And last but not least, you can never just set it and forget it. A really successful business is always evolving, always thinking ahead. You should constantly be on the lookout for new ways to make money, maybe through partnerships or new product lines. And maybe the biggest question of all is, can your model actually handle success? I mean, can it scale from serving 100 customers to 100,000 customers? That's what you need to plan for.
And that brings us right back to the very beginning, doesn't it? It all comes back to this one key question you have to keep asking yourself, over and over again. It's not just, how will we make money today? It's which way of making money is the most sustainable for the long haul. Getting that answer right, that's how you build a business that actually lasts.
So I want to leave you with a final thought, a challenge, really. Don't just sit there and think about all this stuff. Go do something. I don't care if your idea is just a scribble on a napkin or if you already have a product out there. What's one small, simple experiment you could run like tomorrow to test one of your ideas about pricing? Because that's it. That's where the real learning starts.